Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Armen, and you can find me at ArmensCraftRoom online, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now Patreon. So I do have a PDF printout that you can download from Patreon. It's completely free, and my Patreon is at ArmensCraftRoom. It has the directions that we'll be using, which would be the cut patterns, and then at the end it shows the card templates as well. So this class will be using 4 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper to make two A2 cards, 1 A7 card, and 2 5.5 square cards. And as you can see, each paper is labeled and it says which card it's going to go to. These are to size, so if you print this to size on an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, you will get a 6x6 that you can lay your paper flat out on here. Things to note. Some of this stuff says flip paper over, so double-sided is going to be your best. Some of these say sentiment square, which means we're going to stamp a sentiment directly on it. So when you think about your paper with sentiment, you maybe don't want to have anything super busy like this because it will be hard to read your sentiment. However, you could find a more neutral tone like this. Would be very easy to read a sentiment stamped on. So things to think of. We do need 4 sheets. This is actually 8x8 paper pad from Stamperia. I thought I would use this one today in my project. You can cut down any size paper to get your 6x6, or you can use a 6x6 pad. I do recommend choosing paper that came together in a kit or pad or some form of packet so that everything mixes and matches, because we're going to mix all these together and get the same one. So if you look through, we've got a couple sentiment squares on paper number 1 and on paper number 4. So we want to have 2 different sheets of paper that have a background that we can easily stamp on. So I'm just looking through my pad here, and when I find one, we'll set it aside. That will be easy to stamp on. That will be easy, and that one. So I think this is the least easy, so we'll pull that out. So these 2 have some colors that would be easy to stamp on. And I need 2 more sheets of paper. You want to make sure that the front and back coordinate. That way when you cut them up and use them, you can flip the papers over however you like to get what you want. And let's see. As it's one paper pad, everything should coordinate, and you'll really want to go with things that look busy or less busy, is how I'd like to define it. And another thing to think about is some of the techniques we're going to be using. It'll be beneficial to have a pattern like this that's repeated. So I think we'll do, there's 3 of my papers. This one's cut apart, so you hate to do that one. Okay, I think we'll do these 4 for me. And, this is the busy side, and this is the not busy side, so I think that will work out. Alright, so again, the 2 pages we want to reserve are the easiest to stamp on. These 2. I do notice that this would be easy to stamp on as well. So I'm going to set these aside. Now I'm going to cut my paper first of all to an 8x8, and one of the reasons, or 6x6, one of the reasons I want to show you guys this is because if you look at where you're going to stamp, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to stamp my sentiments, probably on these 2 sheets. You want to check out where the sentiments are. These are right in a line. It's a 2-inch border, so if I were to take something for 2 inches here and trim it, I would have this little segue here and the rest would be printed. That could be pretty cool. So I think what we'll do is on this one, we'll trim 6x6 from the left side. I have a very large paper trimmer, so. And for me, the 6 is just before the print. Okay, so 6 inches. And then on the other side, it's nice to know what you're going to cut off here, if there's a side you prefer or not. I think I prefer this side. Reason being is it's a little bit more of a clean cut with the pattern. Okay, and I'm going to set these back in my pile. So now I've got a 6x6 paper. Okay, so this one is paper number 1. Now paper number 2. We have a 3/4 inch strip going down this paper. This is 1 1/4 inch, so almost. Sometimes your pattern paper will have the strip that you need. And this one's about 3/4 on this side. So what I'm going to do, cut it 6x6 so that this border is right here. Okay, so we'll cut this 6 inches so that way we can keep this strip. And the rest of the side was quilted. So for me, I like this side better, so I'm just going to rotate it so this side gets cut off. Okay, and we're left with the 6x6, and it does have a border. I think they'll make it work. We can just flip it over if we want to. And now we've got 2 strips of border that are going to be a clean cut on paper number 2. Okay, paper number 3. You want to pay attention to have a 3-inch block. And paper number 4 has a 4x6, and I really like this one, so I think we'll go with 4x6 on here. So we'll cut 6 inches with the big panel on the left. Now that does leave me a nice strip here for my leftover scraps. And then this panel, you could cut a little off each side, but let's see. Looks like that's about 1/4 inch. Alright, we'll give it a go. Alright. I'm trying to get this one panel. And I'm okay cutting all the strips off. Make it look the way you want. Alright, so we're not going to get an exactly 6 inches here because it's too tall. So you have to decide, do you want to cut the bottom of the plant off and leave the dragonfly? Or do we cut the dragonfly off? No, I'm actually going to cut off the dragonfly because I think that that's a pretty clean sweep. And I like the bottom of the plant. Okay. Now for this one, we have some 3x3 squares. It doesn't matter which side I cut, so I'm going to cut the border off on this one though, because it's going to look weird because it's a set pattern. So we'll cut off the border just on 3 sides. And the reason is because this border that's left will go out on the right, and I'll cut that off so we'll have the extra strip. Alright, so it's 6 inches. We'll rotate, do another 6 inches. There really wasn't any distinction in the pattern in my opinion on this one.